Hi, I'm Kim from Like Chocolate for Women, and as you know, Fleur and our passion about food is very much about getting back to real, getting back to nature, eating foods as close to their most natural source as possible, because we know that when you eat foods close to nature, not only do you age better, but you feel better. And what better person to have sitting with us than the guru herself, Cyndi O'Meara. Cyndi, thanks for joining us, sweetheart. Why is this so passionate to you?
Well, I was brought up like this. My mum and dad were very passionate about health and food, and after going to university and getting an anthropology degree and then nutrition, it just all made so much sense, and I think people have lost their way. And so my passion is teaching this and helping people find their way again, because I think we all know in common sense terms what's the right thing to eat. We've just lost our way.
And why do you think everyone's losing their way?
I think it's the advertising, the marketing, the science, everything that's going beyond what we used to eat. So once upon a time we ate butter, but now we're told butter's no good for us because science has said that saturated fats are no good. And once upon a time we ate salt. It was a commodity. It was a very wealthy commodity. And then salt's no good for us, so we stopped eating salt. And so on until we've gotten to the point where we don't believe the foods that we evolved to eat are any good anymore, but only the scientific, manufactured, technology-changed foods are meant to be good. When in actual fact, when we look at what's happened in the last 40 years since that stuff started, or those foods started, we're getting sicker and fatter as a nation than we've ever been.
I know.
As a Western world, actually.
And it's frightening. I think for those of you that know us well, you'll know that we actually stalked Cyndi all these years ago. It's been one of the most powerful connections we've ever had. Cyndi really is about the inside story. We're a lot about the outside story. And I think, Cyndi, why we love you so much is that you are so passionate about it, just as we are. But how do people get back to it? How do people eat normally then?
I think they've got to go away from believing all the propaganda. And it's an education program. So we have to unlearn first and then re-educate. So when I get up and talk and with all my books and my programs, it's a step-by-step process. It's not, let's change everything and then 6 weeks later it's too hard. It's, let's do one thing. And it could be as easy as changing your salt habit. It could be as easy as changing the type of sugar, the type of milk, what you're having for breakfast. Realising that breakfast cereals is probably one of the worst foods. And when I say this, people go, but she's surely not talking about Wheat Bix but I am. I'm talking about every breakfast cereal that's processed we need to go away from. So we do it step by step rather than trying to change everything all at once.
Have you got any amazing testimonies that have happened through your years of doing this?
Well, you know what? I've been doing this 33 years, from the time I started university and got really excited about it to I've probably been practicing as a nutritionist or writing for a good 28, 29 years. The testimonials go back to then. You know, from the farmer that changed his whole farm but didn't change himself. You know, he went natural on his farm, but he continued to eat additives, preservatives, homogenized milks, things like that. And when he changed, his whole life changed. He was 75. To babies that are just got allergies and eczemas and everything's going wrong with them, but they're putting chemicals on their skin as well as in their mouth. We do that, you know, you do the outside, I do the inside, and we have these kids that just start to thrive. To young teenagers that are on 6 Panadol a day because of their arthritis or because they're just in pain, and changing it. So once we change the environment on the outside and the environment on the inside by giving good foods and basic foods, people start to thrive. And when you ask about testimonials, do we cure anything? No, we don't cure anything. What we do is we give the body what it needs in order to help itself. And when you do that, it's like miracles happen. I see it all the time with arthritis, with diabetes, with obesity especially, because we don't do weight loss. We just don't do it. Because when you concentrate on weight loss, you do low fat, you do calorie counting, you do diet drinks, you do all of those foods that are really not good for us and good for our body, because our body doesn't know how to deal with it. And we go back to eating real foods. And when we do that, the body just loses weight without even trying. You don't have to weigh yourself. It's amazing. It's actually it's actually, yeah, it is. And it's exciting to see people get the aha. They go, oh my gosh, she makes the most amount of common sense I've ever heard.
She can eat butter, she can eat chocolate, she can eat cream, and we don't get fat. I think one of the biggest things that we absolutely love is the fact that you change one habit at a time. You make it easy. It's really simple, and that's why we love having your recipes. That's why we work with you with our programs. The last question I want to ask you, why is this important to you?
You know, that's a question that I ask myself. Why do I do this? And I actually do it because I love it. I actually do it because it gets me up in the morning. It's not that I'm helping anybody. I know I do that, but that's not what drives me. What drives me is that I love to educate myself. I love to learn about food. I love speaking. I love writing. I love creating products, you know, that people are too lazy to go out and get themselves, so I'm doing it for them. So I do what I do because I love it, not for any other reason. And if I help somebody else in the meantime, that's wonderful.
Oh, well, you've helped us, my darling, and we absolutely love Cyndi O'Meara. Changinghabits.com.au. We're incredibly honoured and proud to have her working with us. And as far as Fleur and I are concerned, when someone tells us that chocolate's good for us, good quality chocolate, we know we've got a good friend.